itself. Okay, it's normal for the general study kita macam a bit hassle sikit, a bit start lambat sikit kadang-kadang untuk lecture tu. Dia bukan apa, sebab student ni keep changing the section. So kita susah nak betul-betul fit. So hopefully selepas ni dah tak ada dah orang yang add ataupun drop lah. Sebab nanti kita susah nak align balik kita punya assignment dan sebagainya. Alright. So just make sure that you are registered in the correct section and also the correct code. The correct code the most important. Alright. So the introduction of psychology adjustment. This is there is some of the YouTube's links that you can watch the videos from the YouTube lah kan, about the TED Talk in order to get the ideas kalau you all nak dapatkan ideas. But how your friends did today just now, macam tu lah lebih kurang caranya. Okay, for the TED Talk, it's actually want to share the experience that we have. Macam tadi contoh, kalau kawan-kawan tak cerita, kita pun tak tahu kan apa yang diorang alami. Okay, so for today the learning objective, at the end of this lesson, hopefully you can understand the definitions of the psychological adjustment, and then explain the stages of change in the daily life. There is 6 stages. Okay, and differentiate between the growth versus fixed mindset, okay, among people. Right. So this is the 3 objectives that we are going to do. So the first one is the definition, the adjustment. What is the adjustment? Adjustment refers to the changes in life that are made continuously when one has a chronic illness. It's not necessary to be a chronic illness. It can be if someone want to change the behavior. It's just seem like what you made in what you are doing with your individual portfolio. So you want to change from problematic behavior or maybe negative behavior towards a positive behavior. Okay, so it can from negative to the positive, problematic to the normal. All right, it also can be defined as a coping with the problems of the normal everyday life. It's normal for us. Every day is for me, every day is a full of surprise. Okay, so because we don't know what will happen tomorrow, I don't know what will happen after 1 hour, okay, or 2 hours onwards, for example, or maybe next 2 weeks, for example. So it's a full of surprise. So how we adjust it, how we cope it, that's we call it as a adjust. Okay, and in the Latin we call as a adjure, which is to bring or to make a right. Okay, it's not necessary. Sometimes we think that, for example, we think that something is not a problem to us, but it's become a problem to others, for example. So that's also we call as the adjustment. How we want to adjust to be with that person that we is actually is not really comfortable. For example, we are not aligned in terms of thinking, for example, or even behavior. Okay, and our life are continuous change. Yes, especially during pandemic kan, macam-macam berlaku. So now we endemic, in endemic phase. So ada pula berlaku transitions between the endemic to the endemic. Okay, so we have to adjust with everyday life. It's just same like you all lah. Online classes, for me also online classes. Kita kena macam umur-umur macam saya ni kan, bukannya kadang-kadang tak, we have to learn about the technology because before this we never did this. Okay, but after we go through, after we can cope with all that situation, we learn something. Lepas ni kita dah tahu dah, oh okay, kalau kita ada kekangan masa untuk pergi ke sesuatu tempat dan sebagainya, kita boleh buat online sebagai contoh. So it give the benefits lah. Okay, so next is the stages of change. The stages of change is to set the realistic goals by moving one stage at a time. Okay, we want to set a goal for many patients. A patient, what we call as the patients. Patients is because when someone is being referring to the psychiatrist, for example, so we call as the patient. Okay, there is a difference between the psychologists and also the psychiatrists. Okay, that this is very important for you to know. Psychologists, we cannot prescribe any medication. Okay, however, the psychiatrists, they can prescribe the medication. All right. So, however, the psychologists normally they will send the patients to the psychologist first. We do some of the assessment. We give some of the interventions, but if we notice that from the intervention, we try a few intervention, but it's still not working, so we have to send to the psychiatrist for the next level, because the psychiatrist can prescribe the medication. So sometimes the patients needs meditations in order to balance the activities in their brains. Okay, sometimes is related with the psychotic, which is related with the brain. So that's why we need the help from the meditation. Okay, medication. All right. So the changes itself, we call as a series of the stages from one until to the end. All right. So what is the stages? Um, we have six. Okay, however, the last one is not necessary to be in this stage. Okay, the most important is the first five. Okay, so the first one is the pre-contemplation. Pre-contemplation is something that not yet acknowledging that there is a problem behavior that needs to be changed. For example, I'm not a kind of the morning person. Let's say I'm not a kind of morning person. So for me, nak wake up early tu is a big hard for me. Okay. So normally, for example, saya bangun pukul 11, 12 contoh contoh 11, 12. But before this, I don't feel any problems. For me, it's fine. Tak ada apa-apa. There is nothing affected in my life. Okay. When I wake up at 11 or 12, for example. And then the second stage is the contemplation, acknowledging there is a problem, but not yet ready or sure wanted to make a change. Okay, this stage, okay, because I'm not a morning person, saya susah nak bangun pagi. However, for this semester, I have a morning class, for example, 8 a.m. So, I know there is a problem with me. Ada masalah ni sebab tak boleh bangun pagi, tapi ada kelas. Tapi nak pergi kelas ke tak? Nak berubah ke tak? That's we call as the contemplation. And then the preparation and determination, which is the getting ready to change. Okay, now this is the time for me. I know that by hook or by crook, I have to join the class. If not, I will be barred from this course, and my marks will not appear, for example, and I have to retake for this course, for example. So I have to change, I have to wake up early. That's the preparation. Okay, so I have to make some of the strategies and also plan how I want to wake up early. So maybe I will sleep early at night, for example, and then maybe I can do some of the exercise. Okay, kenapa? Why? When we do exercise, so it give a refreshment to our body, for example, and it will secrete the happiness hormone, for example. All right. And then the next stage is the action or the willpower, which is after we plan the strategies and everything. So now this is the time for us to do, for us to change the behavior. Okay, so saya bangun, saya cubalah tidur awal pukul 9, malam dah tidur sebagai contoh. Petang-petang saya exercise supaya bila badan kita penat, kita mudah tidur, dan juga bila kita exercise tu dia akan secrete hormon untuk happiness. Okay, and then maintenance ni bila saya dah ready, saya dah boleh bangun pagi, pukul 6 dah boleh bangun dah, sebagai contoh. So I just maintain my behavior. However, relapse will happen again. Relapse will happen kalau saya tak boleh nak maintain. Mungkin bila dalam lama saya rasa alamak fed-upnya, rasa tak boleh lah nak bangun pagi, rasa penat sangat. I have push my myself so hard, for example. So dia akan jadi relapse. So saya bangun pukul 11 balik, sebagai contoh. It same goes to for those yang nak turunkan berat badan, contohnya kadang-kadang tu it's not necessary to be relapse. Ada setengah orang dia just boleh maintain dia punya berat badan, but some of us they will go to the relapse punya stage because dia tak boleh nak maintain berat badan dia. So it will become a cycle again lah. Okay. So this is the illustrations of the stages of the change. Okay, so pre-contemplation, contemplations, planning, action, and maintenance. This is the first five. This is the most important. And if you notice, the relapse is not necessary to be in this stage, because ada setengah orang macam saya cakap, dia tak akan pergi kepada relapse because dia akan maintain. Alright? Any question for the stages of change? Everything clear, guys? Any questions? Okay. Okay, if no questions, let us continue. Okay, next we go for the next the third objective, which is the grow versus fix mindset. Okay, in psychology, this is one of the course that we are teaching for the undergraduates students, especially for the psychology students. Okay, which is the cause of, we name as the motivation and emotion. So under motivation and emotion, we have a grow versus fixed mindset topics. All right. So the grow versus fixed mindset concern the questions on how people think about their personal qualities, such as their intelligence and also the personality traits. For example, contohnya kita ada kinds of the perceptions about smart over dumb, extrovert over introvert, for example. Okay. So the growth mindset is the some people believe that their personal qualities are changeable attributes. Okay, for the growth mindset ni, dia ada satu they perceive that if I'm not good enough, so I can go for the tuitions. For example, I can enhance my skills in order to increase the knowledge that I have. For example, so tak adalah nampak sangat kebodohan tu sebagai contoh. Ini this kind of the growth mindset, dia nak berubah. They seek for the development. Okay, so they, for example, they think that people can become smarter and more creative when they receive more training, give more effort and always practice. Okay, so their motto is something like, the more you try, the more you learn, and the better you will get. Okay, how this is what we call as the incremental theories. What we call as the incremental, dia semakin lama semakin meninggi. Okay, dia punya development tu semakin ke atas, bukan semakin ke bawah. This is a kind of the growth mindset. However, for the fixed mindset, they believe that kalau dah tak berapa nak cerdik tu, akan tetap tak cerdik. Contohnya, if you are not creative person, so kalau you pergi kelas, any arts class pun, you still takkan pandai menyanyi sebagai contoh, takkan pandai menari. Okay, because you are not born with that characters. This is a kind of the fixed mindset thing. Okay, so it's something that either you have it or you don't. Okay, and for them, some people are smart, some people are very creative and good in maths, for example, while some of others are not. This is what they say. Tak kisahlah pergi tuition pun still takkan pandai mathematics. Okay, so that's we call as the entity theory. Okay, tadi incremental kan untuk grow mindset, untuk fixed mindset, this one entity theories. Okay, they believe that physical entity inside the person, which is a good brains and creative genes, determine how much the personality quality a person has. Maknanya dia macam, dia memikirkan fixed mindset ni, dia memikirkan macam you are born with it lah. Itu je lah. Okay, sebab tu ada setengah kan, ada orang kan, kalau orang lama-lama kadang-kadang dia rasa macam tak nak pergi hospital. Walaupun sakit, they don't want to go to the hospital because they think that the hospital cannot do anything for them. For example, that kind of the fixed mindset, tak kisahlah awak cakap apa pun, that kind of person, dia tak akan berubah dia punya pendirian sebagai contoh. Okay, so in terms of the efforts for the growth mindset, they will think that the effort is actually as a tool untuk mereka in order to maximize the development of their skills. Okay, however, for the fixed mindset ni, dia merasakan the more you try, the dumber that you therefore must be. Dia rasa macam, lagi awak rasa macam nak belajar, lagi nampak kebodohan awak tu. Dia merasakan macam tu. That's kind of the fixed mindset. Okay, and in terms of the achievement, untuk growth mindset ni, which is the incremental tadi tu, they are more on the mastery goals. Mastery goals ni, dia tak hanya melihat kepada outcomes, okay, tapi dia melihat along the process itself. Okay, sebagai contoh kalau kalau nak dapat 4 flat for this semester, so belajar rajin-rajin, buat study group, buat assignment the best for example, datang kelas for example, okay. Tapi at the end kalau still tak dapat 4 flat for them is okay because it's actually the process itself dah mengajar mereka untuk mungkin nak develop diri mereka is not just because of the score but maybe because of the soft skill, for example, the way you communicate. At the end, mungkin it will affect when you want to, after you graduated kan, you want to get a job, for example. Kita tak nampak for the long term, okay? But the important is the process itself. But however, for the fixed mindset, which is the entity theory study, they just look at on the performance goal, okay? Diorang nak memastikan mereka ni kelihatan pandai and not looking down. So that's why they never try for the things that they are not good. Okay, kalau diorang tak pandai dengan contohnya matematik, so they are not going to take any mathematics subject, for example. So tak adalah nampak orang tahu yang dia tak tahu matematik, for example, because at the end they just want to have the outcomes, dapat A untuk apa yang dia ambil sebagai contoh. Okay, so that's the difference between the growth versus fixed mindset. I think it's a very clear, it's very easy lah to understand. Okay, so for this part, for the mastery goals, normally they will develop the competence, macam saya cakap tadi, soft skills, self-esteem meningkat, the way how you communicate, you can perform better, okay, make progress, improve the self, overcome the difficulties with the effort and persistence. Saya selalu membayangkan orang yang mastery ni adalah orang yang backpackers, okay, selalu pergi travel, backpackers tu kan, because it's actually the most important is the process. They want to try to get the new experience. Okay. However, for the performance goal ni, which is for the fixed mindset, they want to prove one's competence. Diorang nak memastikan mereka ni pandai, okay, and display high ability, outperform others, and succeed with the little apparent effort. Why they say that succeed with the little apparent effort? Because they just try something that they are good. Dia kiranya macam tak triggered lah dia punya yang benda-benda yang lain tu. Okay, kita tak boleh nampak apa kebolehan dia lain sebab because they don't want to try. Alright. So, some of the benefits of adopting the mastery, which is the growth mindset, which is we can have work harder, persist longer and also perform better lah. Sebab dia ibarat macam niat kita lah if you want to do something is depending on your intention. Okay. If you just want to get A, so just get A lah. Kalau tak, the most important how you want to achieve the A. Kalau tak dapat pun maybe ada rezeki lain kita akan fikir macam tu but the most important the skills that you receive. Alright, so habis dah untuk introduction. Baru intro, sabar, baru intro. Okay, so ada soalan tak for the introduction part? Do you have any questions for the introduction? So far okay tak? Mudah kan? Saya rasa adjustment ni antara benda yang adjustment psikologi ni adalah course yang kita try to compress every knowledge dalam psikologi ni tapi make it macam a bit easy to everyone to understand. Sebab kita nak linkkan dengan everyday punya daily life. Okay? Soalan okay tak? So far okay Alright. So maybe we can take break lah sekejap sebab tapi jangan ambil coffee pula. Yang Muslim jangan ambil coffee tapi for the non-Muslim you can have your breakfast dulu ke sekejap. Take break sekejap. Sekejap lagi cakap, Dr. Jem suruh makan lah ibu. Mama, Dr. Jem suruh makan ambil kopi ni. Okey, jangan sabar, panjang lagi. Okey, kita take break sekejap sampai 9 suku. 9 suku datang balik, mungkin toilet break dan sebagainya. Okey, boleh stretching dulu badan. Alright, so 9 suku datang balik and for those yang nak face tour ni, kalau rasa macam nak present TED Talk nanti, boleh get ready lah. Kalau rasa ada lah selain daripada Asha dengan Aziza. Okay. Alright, so see you guys 9:15 15. Alright, so semua boleh kita start semula lecture kita.
Boleh Doktor.
Okay. Alright, so let us continue with the second part of or the second topics. Okay, can you see my slide right now about the self? Boleh? Alright, thank you for responding. Okay, the second topic is about the self. So what we are going to learn, dia tak mau naik atas pula ini. Okay, there is three objectives for this session. Okay, the first one is to identify the three primary components of the self. Okay, and then we want to explain the self-concept and self-esteem in the perspective of cognitive effects and behavior. This is all the components in the psychology. And then we want to know and we want to discuss about the self-discrepancy and self-regulation strategies. Okay, in order for us to achieve for the short term and also the long term goals. All right. So this is about the self. From this picture, okay, this is my picture is actually, okay, from this picture, what do you think the roles that I have? Apa roles yang saya ada from this picture? Anyone?
Role seorang anak.
Role seorang anak, betul lagi? Sekejap. Oh, dekat komen. Okay. Sekejap saya buka. Semua malu-malu nak buka mic. As a mother, betul, daughter, okay, wife, betul, okay. So here you can see, this is my small family. This is my husband, this is my two kids, okay. So here the roles that I have as a wife and also as a mother, okay. However, if you go to the next picture, the role that I have here, this is my parents. They are getting old, sedih bila tengok mereka semakin tua, tapi alhamdulillah masih diberi rezeki untuk punya parents. Okay, siapa yang masih ada tu kita hargailah, siapa yang tak ada tak apa, kita sedekahkan Al-Fatihah bagi yang beragama Islam, kita buat banyak-banyak amalan untuk parents kita. Okay, sedih pula sebab pula rasa. Okay, so from this picture, the roles that I have as a daughter. Okay, dia dah terbalik kan, as a daughter to my parents. Okay, so it same goes to you. I do believe that each of you have a different role. Macam-macam role kita ada is depending on the situation. For example, if I have a younger sister in this class, for example, so during the class, the roles that we have between me and my younger sister is as a lecturer and students. But this is just example. I don't have a sister. Okay. But after finish the class, maybe at our own house, okay, the roles that we have as a siblings, for example, all right. So that's some of the opening eyes for you, okay, the roles that we have. So the definitions of the self that we have, the sense of who a person is. Siapa diri kita ni? A person as an individual reflection. After we know who we are, so it's easy for us to do reflections in terms of what the responsibility that we have, what we have done in order to make sure that the roles that we have is we are completed our roles, okay. And then also it's about the individual identity, or we call as the self identity, okay. And then, okay, this one is actually before this, I love to hear poems from my students. It's actually, but it's okay because we are limited of time. Okay, mesti semua orang, yay. Okay, so it's okay. The components of the self is a unique, okay? It's something that we have three components, which is the individual, relational, and also the collective, okay? What is the individual? This one, what is the individual? Sekejap saya guna, ada tak laser? Okay. What is the individual? Individual is a unique attributes and traits. Okay, semua kita adalah berbeza. Kita punya personality berbeza, abilities kita, preference, taste, skills. Semua daripada kita adalah we have a different sets of the attributes. Sama juga, same goes to our thumbprint. Kita ada nampak macam sama tetapi sebenarnya berbeza setiap orang. Contoh mungkin Chen ni, kalau kita sebut pasal Chen, kita akan teringat macam Chen ni seorang yang bertanggungjawab. Contohnya kalau kita cerita pasal Adawiyah ni, kita teringat Adawiyah ni is a very talkative person contohnya. Tapi kalau kita cakap Anis ni mungkin kita rasa macam, oh Anis ni very shy person. Dia malu-malu nak cakap, dia hanya comfortable bercakap dengan orang yang dia biasa sahaja, for example. Okay, while the relational self ni, the roles in a certain relationship with others people that we have. For example here, dekat dalam kelas, the roles that the relational self that we have as a lecturers and students, for example, okay, the roles that I have with my sister, for example, mungkin siblings, for example, and then collective self ni, being a member in a certain group. Yang ni sangat mudah lah untuk faham. Contohnya kalau kita cakap the members that we have, the easiest one in Malaysia, we have a three main races kan. Malay, Chinese, Indian. Senang nak cakap. Awak bangsa apa? India. Awak bangsa apa? Cina. Awak bangsa apa? Melayu sebagai contoh. Okay. And we do have other races dekat, kalau terutama Sabah dan Sarawak kita ada banyak etnik sebagai contoh. Okay. Dan juga dia mengingatkan kita kalau macam kita ni, even in class, the relational self yang kita ada between me, between kita adalah lecturers dan juga students. Okay, but for the collective self, kalau kita cakap as a group, apa group kita yang ada? Apa persamaan antara saya dengan awak? What is the similarities? Apa persamaan saya dengan awak ni? Kalau kita nak cakap being a group. Siapa tak nak jawab? Saya cakap. Ada tak?
Human. Malaysian.
Apa? Malaysian. Yes, betul Malaysian. Sebab kita tak ada international student dekat dalam kelas ni kan. So we are Malaysian. Betul. Lagi? Apa lagi persamaan kita? As a group.
Student.
Adult. Betul. Adult pun boleh. Apa tadi cakap? Tak dengar.
Student.
Student? Tapi saya bukan student.
Oh, UTM family.
Yes, correct. Itulah yang saya nak dengar tu. UTM families. Betul. Siapa jawab tadi tu? Tadi ada ramai juga jawab kan. Sebab saya suka jot down kat dalam ni. Setiap orang yang jawab tu nanti kan kita ada interactions punya markah.
Denny Shilman yang jawab tadi, Doktor.
Okay. Saya nampak. Saya dah tanda. Okay. So yes, betul. Kita UTM family. Itulah collective self yang saya nak beritahu kepada awak semua. Okay. So easy nak understand for the individual, relational dengan kolektif ni. Alright. Next. Okay. For the self concept. Okay. Now we go for the second objective about the self concept. Okay, for the self-concept, individual believe about his or her own attributes. Attributes apa yang awak ada. So, kalau saya cakap tadi, contoh saya cakap Anis tadi, awak akan teringat attribute apa yang Anis ada. Oh, dia sangat pemalu orangnya. Macam saya cakap tadi Contoh saya bagi contoh lagi tadi, Chen. Chen sangat very responsible. So semua orang nak Chen jadi ketua. Sebagai contoh marah Aisyah. Aisyah kata saya yang ketua doktor dalam kelas ni, bukan Chen. Contoh sahaja. Okay Aisyah, jangan marah. Okay, and then it's something that we develop from the experience. How we want to know our attributes. Gelak Chen kat situ. It's because from the experience that we have. For example, saya ni suka bagi example. Dalam psikologi ni kena bagi banyak example baru kita faham kan. Kadang-kadang benda tu dah berlaku. We have gone through that experience or that kind of the activities ke apa ke kan. Tapi kita tak tahu, there is a theories in psychology is actually that can explain that the experience that I have, for example. Okay. So, how we want to develop the self-concept from the experience. Example one, on my first day of school, I was not interested to make friends with others people. Okay, day by day, I avoided meeting to others and also only talk to my close friends. So from this experience, kita dapat tahu, okay, this person is a very shy and very introvert person, for example. And it same goes to us. Kalau kita nak tahu kita ni a kind of the socialized punya person ke ataupun we are more on introvert. Contoh saya cakap, okay everyone, esok saya nak buat birthday party untuk my daughters, for example. So I want to invite all of my students. Contoh, some of you maybe a very eager kan nak pergi, rasa excited sangat nak pergi birthday party tu because for you to talk with others is not a problem. Tak ada masalah. Cakap je lah. Cakap tak ada masalah. Cakap je lah, bersembang je lah. But for others, they feel that, alamak, Dr. Jun ajak pergi birthday party lah pula. Malunya, macam mana nak bersembang ni? Nanti kau tak kenal ramai orang dekat situ, macam mana? They start to think and they feel macam anxiety kan, takut nak pergi party tu. So, dia rasa tak eager lah nak pergi berbanding dengan orang lain. Berbanding dengan siapa yang ada kat sini tadi. Azizah, contoh Azizah, dia sangat eager nak pergi, dia seronok. Tapi Lim rasa, tak nak lah. Nanti macam mana? How I want to start a conversation? Lim sembang dengan Azizah, cakap, Azizah, you want to go to Dr. Jun's punya birthday party ke? And then Azizah kata, mestilah nak pergi. I'm so excited. Saya dah cari baju, saya dah cari hadiah. Contohnya kan. Tapi Lim kata, I don't think lah I want to go. I don't know how to start the conversation. Macam mana kalau saya tiba-tiba nervous. Saya malu sangat. So that kind of the experience that we have, we know what kind of the attributes yang kita ada. Okay. That's example lah for the self-concept ni. Okay, how to develop the self-concept is based on the introspection. Introspection ni macam experience lah. Kita punya penilaian diri. Okay. And then observer's view. Observer's view ni, it can be from others juga sebenarnya. Macam kita dah tahu dah tadi, saya dah tahu dah Anis ni memang, saya kenal rapat lah Anis ni. Anis ni memang sangat pemalu orangnya. So, kalau saya ajak dia pergi birthday party dia macam 50-50 lah, nak pergi tak nak pergi, macam tu. So it's from the others punya perspektif, okay. And then the importance of the self-knowledge, what is the how we want to know about the self-knowledge is discover the cause of our thoughts, feelings and behaviour. Kalau kita rasa macam sedih, kita tahu diri kita. Kalau kita hari ni kita rasa the feelings that we have is very sad. Sebab kena bangun awal tadi. Dah lah sahur pukul 5. Kemudian tak sempat nak tidur. Tunggu subuh pula. Lepas tu Dr. Jun dia buat kelas pukul 8 suku pula. Contoh kan. So I feel sedih hari ni sebab tak sempat nak tidur lagi. Contoh. So from the self-knowledge kita boleh tahu, kenapa kita sedih kita try to do the introspective, introspection tadi, okay. And then predicts the future thoughts, feelings and behaviour. Kalau kita dah tahu kita punya attributes, kita punya diri, so we know that if it's not just Dr. Jun yang ajak pergi birthday party, mungkin ada kawan-kawan lain ke ajak pergi mingles dengan orang lain ataupun nak buat reunion sebagai contoh, is related to socialize dengan others kan. So Anis tadi rasa tak nak pergi. Hari ni kita cerita pasal Anis je. Anis minta maaf saya bagi contoh je. So Anis rasa tak naklah pergi. Tak kira lah apa-apa pun yang melibatkan kenduri ke apa ke, nanti kena jumpa makcik bawang, pakcik bawang, kena tanya macam-macam. Contoh. So dia tak nak pergi dah. Okay. And then presenting ourselves in the different context. So kita tahulah macam mana kita want to bring ourselves walaupun konteks yang berbeza. Pergi kenduri lain, kalau pergi majlis kematian lain sebagai contoh, pergi parti lain, pergi majlis ilmu lain. So we have to know how we want to bringing ourselves in the different context. Okay, konteks tu macam situation lah. Alright, so far ada soalan tak guys? Ada soalan? So far okay?
Okey doktor.
Mudah kan? Senang kan? Anis terus bercakap. Saya asyik cakap Anis. Anis kata, mana ada saya introvert doktor. Saya extrovert orangnya. Saya yang suka bercakap dalam kelas berbanding kawan-kawan lain. Okay, contohnya Anis jangan marah. Okay, next we go for the self-esteem. Self-esteem ni saya rasa semua orang pernah dengar pasal self-esteem. Okay, it's about the effective components of the self. What is the effective? Effective is the we call as emotion. This is the jargon punya words dalam psikologi. So effective is the emotion. Okay, self-esteem is normally is reflecting to the self-worth. Macam mana kita nilai diri kita. Okay, that's why I always say that. Okay, saya nak tanya lah how do you perceive your self-esteem? Macam mana you think that your self-worth? Daripada skala 1 hingga 5, the scales 1 until 5, which is from the lowest is 1, the highest is 5. Can you answer in the chat room your self-esteem right now? How do you perceive 1 until 5? Okay, 4, 3, 2.5, 2, 4, 4, 3, 4, 3.5, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4. Ada lagi tak? 3, 3, 3, 3. Okay, 3. Ada tak yang 5? Depends on the environment. Okay, Lim bagus. 5. Okay. Ada lagi tak? 4, 3, 4. Ada lagi? Okay. Saya nak tanya Lim. Lim Ting. How you develop your self-esteem, Lim? Maybe you can share with your friends.
Just believe yourself.
Just believe yourself. Okay. Since when you realize that you have a high self-esteem? Since when you believe that you have a high self-esteem? Is it starting from even from the kindergarten, for example, or during the university life?
Not really. I just to believe myself to think that I can do anything that I can.
Yes, correct. So from time to time, how you try to develop other than just believe on yourself?
Yeah, I not really think about that much into this lah.
Yes, correct. Okay, that's the correct answer. Overthinking. Okay, thank you, Lim. Okay, for your sharing. It's actually overthinking pun. It will damage. It will damage ourselves. It's actually sometimes the way that you perceive is not correct. It's not same like the others perceive. How the others perceive. Okay. Orang tu tak fikir pun apa yang awak fikirkan. Tapi awak rasa macam, semua orang tengah tengok aku. Semua orang tengah mengata pasal aku lah. Contoh. Tapi sebenarnya tak ada pun. It's just that you, sometimes it's about the exaggerate and also the overthinking. Okay. So, that's a very good point, Lim. So the others, that is only that how you perceive. But it's actually, there is an instrument how you want to measure your self-esteem. Okay. So you can try this one is actually, okay, this the instrument of the self-esteem scale, even in the internet, is actually a lots of the instruments to to calculate your self-esteem is actually you can try lah. Okay. You can try to answer and then you see how do you perceive and also the exact self-esteem level same ke tak, sama ke tak the level. Alright. So the discrepancy, next is about the discrepancy. What is the discrepancy? Discrepancy ni is the differences, the levels of the differences between what you want and what you have right now. Okay, so in the discrepancy we have three components, which is actual self, old self, and also the ideal self. Actual self is something that who you are really are. Siapa awak? Macam saya sebagai contoh, saya sekarang ada as a lecturer. The old self is the individual you feel should be or not, or you should become. Okay, it is something that apa yang awak rasa awak nak sebenarnya? What is your ambition? For example, even I'm a lecturer, mungkin sebenarnya my old self ni saya merasakan saya nak jadi stewardess. Dulu saya ada cita-cita nak jadi stewardess. Seronoknya tengok kalau dekat airport dulu my sisters kerja dekat airport. So saya selalu pergi duduk dengan dia. Waktu cuti semester saya suka duduk dengan dia. So saya kadang-kadang saya duduk kat airport tu saya tengok seronoknya stewardess datang pergi kerja kemas, lepas tu dengan pilot, bukanlah suka kat pilot, tak, I mean that seronok kerja as a stewardess tu tengok sebab it's a very neat. That's what I want to become. But the ideal self is actually image of yourself created from the life experience. What is actually yang sepatutnya yang saya kena buat. Contohlah, walaupun saya lecturer sekarang, but my ambition is actually to become a stewardess, but it's actually I'm not good to be a lecturer, for example, and even nak jadi stewardess pun memang tak lah. Contohnya, so the ideal self sekarang ni yang sepatutnya saya jadi adalah contohnya housewife, contoh sebagai contoh. Okay, so that's the components of the discrepancy. Lagi banyak perbezaan antara apa yang saya nak dengan apa yang saya ada sekarang, itulah yang kita panggil adalah discrepancy. Okay, so boleh faham discrepancy? Easy kan? Okay tak so far? Semangat ni ajar ni Faham
Okay, doktor.
Okay. Faham kan? Kita try to simplify So what happen if the self discrepancy teori ni lagi tinggi? The consequences ni apa berlaku? Saya ni jadi lecturer sekarang, mengajar student, tapi sebenarnya saya nak jadi stewardess ni. So apa berlaku? Hari-hari terbayang, seronoknya kalau jadi stewardess, hari-hari boleh fly, contoh So saya semakin depressed. Jadi the anxiety, takut takut rasa macam rasa macam tak sesuai ni nak jadi lecturer ni. Contoh, kadang-kadang tu ada perasaan macam jealous pun ada. Mungkin benda tu akan berlaku kalau discrepancy tu sangat tinggi. Kadang-kadang kita ni, tapi itulah yang membataskan diri kita ni adalah kita sifat redha lah. We accept our fate, okay? Maybe the best is we just plan that we want to become a stewardess, but the best plan from the God is actually to become a lecturer, contoh. Okay, so it will calm down our feelings lah, and we'll avoid this kind of the things, negative feelings. Alright. So next is about the self-regulation, the next objective. The third objective is the process by which people control their thoughts, feelings and behaviour in order to achieve the personal or social goals. Apa yang kita nak ni, apa yang kita nak buat. Contoh hari ni you aim, you want to after class, you want to study for example, or you want to prepare for your presentation ke sebagai contoh, and out of sudden one of your friends tu ajak, jom lah, siapa Farah Shazlin, jomlah kita pergi bazar. Temanlah saya pergi bazar, kita nak pergi bazar ni, jomlah. Lepas tu Farah Shazlin kata, alamak, dalam hati self-talk. Dia rasa macam, alamak, kita nak buat assignment sebenarnya, tapi Anis ni ajak pergi bazar pula ni, macam mana ni? Rasa macam tu kan. So that's the self-regulation. Macam mana awak nak pastikan yang awak ni boleh pergi bazar, at the same time you can achieve the goals that you want. The personal and also the social goal. So mungkin cakap dekat Farah tadi, mungkin cakap dekat Farah, Farah jap bagi kita 2 jam ke ataupun 1 jam ke 30 minit ke contohnya untuk kita buat assignment kita dulu sikit, lepas tu kita teman awak. Contoh. So dua-dua pun dapat. Okay, personal dengan social goal pun dapat. Okay, and then the ability to forgo an immediate reward and stick to the completing our long term goal. Maksudnya kita tak distracted lah dengan apa challenges yang berlaku. Okay, we just strive for the goals that we want. Alright. So the self-regulation process ni, dia ada beberapa cara lah. Yang pertama dia planning and strategic thinking, which is generate plan of action, adopt strategies and create implementation ni. Contohnya kalau awak nak dapatkan 4 flat for this semester, so start plan lah apa yang awak perlu buat in order to get the 4 flat. Okay, and then implement action and self control. Kalau awak dah rasa nak buat group discussion, so start buat, implement the group discussion. Don't just plan, but it must come with the action. Okay, and then monitor and checking. And then towards at the end of the semester kan, rasa-rasanya bila dah buat macam-macam ni, still tak dapat 4 flat for this semester. But you try again for the next semester by monitoring, meaning that you checking again apa lagi yang perlu buat, apa lagi yang you have to adopt. Okay, contohnya it's not just enough to have the group discussion. Mungkin juga you kena ada contohnya mentor sebagainya, one to one. Ada setengah orang they are not they cannot to have study with the a large numbers of members kan, for example. So dia mungkin satu one to one tu lebih mudah dekat dia. Okay, and then for the next semester tu kita reflect balik. Barulah boleh dapat 4 flat sebagai contoh. Okay, reflect and also adjust lah based on the situation. Okay, this one tak apa, selalunya saya akan bahagi dalam group, tapi it's okay. Okay, dear self, how are you today? I hope that you are doing well. Keep up with your great work and do not hesitate to share your discomfort. It's okay not to be okay. Macam tajuk lah pula, tajuk filem kan. It's okay. If you want to cry, it's okay. Okay, you have to embrace, you have to acknowledge your feelings. Ni yang selalu kita cakap. If you feel sad, it's okay, you can cry. Okay, because we are human. Kita ada emosi. Alright. Ada orang cakap lelaki tak boleh menangis. Boleh je, tak ada masalah. But don't make it the feelings that you have tu, janganlah you sampai tak boleh nak move on. Okay. Okay, this one is just a reflection. So as a wrap up, we have learned about the definition of the self, about the self-concept, self-esteem tadi kan, self-esteem about the self-worth, and then the self-discrepancy. The self-discrepancy is about the largest, the difference between what you want and what you want to be, it become the discrepancy. Okay, and then self-regulation. Self-regulation ni how you want to strive for the goals that you want. It can be from the personal and also the social. Okay, so guys, saya nak tunjuk video ni. Sekejap saya stop sharing sekejap. Sebab saya tak maximize dia punya volume tadi. Okay, tengok video ni dia ada arahan.
This is a test of selective attention. Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball.
Count how many times the players wearing white pass the basketball. Kira berapa
How many passes did you count?
Berapa? Cuba jawab dekat chat room, berapa? How many? 19, 15, 13, 12, 14, 15, 15, 13, 14, 15, 14, 15, 16, 14, 15, 15, 14. Ada jawapan lain tak? Okay, 14. Okay, tengok. Okay, dia bagi jawapan.
The correct answer is 15 passes.
The correct answer is 15. Congratulations for those who correct. Okay, but however,
But did you see the gorilla?
nampak tak? Ada siapa nampak gorila tak? Ada tak? Lagi? Yes. Lagi? Lagi? No. Monyet tadi kan? Tak. Ha. Okay, this is the psychology, the tricks. Okay, kita tengok dia punya explanation. Nampak tak ni? Anis kata nampak diri dia je gorila.
This video is from research by Daniel Sanders and
Okay.
Christopher Chabris
So
and is
nampak kan? Nampak dah. That's the psychologist. We have a tendency to have the cognitive dissonance, which is when we try so hard to focus on the only one thing, okay? Because there is instruction kan, nak fokus, nak kira berapa ball tu kan. Until you ignore from the others, other things. So that's we call as the bias lah sometimes. Sebab tu lah kita ada forensic psychology juga. Kita ada criminal psychology pada untuk bidang-bidang psikologi ni. So kadang-kadang criminal psychology ni kita ada witness kan, kita ada saksi, but sometimes the witness tu kita tak boleh nak guna, kita tak boleh guna, maksudnya kita tak boleh trust 100% because sometimes it will become the cognitive dissonance juga. Alright, okay, so any questions about this, the self and also the introductions? Any problems? Any questions? Maybe you think that, doktor laju sangat, doktor cakap. Doktor, any improvement that you want me to be or to have for the next lecture ke? Kalau ada?
Okey je doktor.
So far okay Alright.
Okay.
Okay, kalau ada apa-apa rasa macam doktor, kalau boleh tak lepas ni doktor dah boleh bagi je suggestion kat saya okey je. Okay, sebab setiap kelas tu kadang-kadang berbeza. Kelas ni nak macam ni, kelas lain nak yang lain. Okay, ada kelas lain tu, doktor bagi recording dah doktor, kita tak payah buat ulang kelas. Tak boleh lah macam tu. Jangan macam tu. Okay, so kita ada masa sikit lagi. Kita teruskan dengan TED Talk boleh? Kita ada Asha dengan Aziza. Sikit lagi sekejap hold on Okay, siapa nak start dulu tadi? Aziza kan? Aziza dulu volunteer kan? So Aziza boleh start dulu?
Ya doktor.
Ha.
Kejap doktor. Saya nak share guna laptop. Saya guna dua device sebab doktor saya tak masalah mic.
Boleh. Ke awak nak
Sekejap
bagi dekat Asha dulu?
boleh. So saya pun nak
Boleh?
join ke laptop. Okay.
Okay. Asha dululah.
Okay, doktor.
Siapa nak jaga masa ni
Saya boleh tolong.
Siapakah itu? Siapakah? Saya tak nampak. Danish saya panggil apa Danish ke Hilman?
Panggil saya Dennis je doktor.
Danish. Okay, Danish tolong 3 minit Nanti dah 3 minit Danish buat time up dekat situ
Boleh doktor.
Alright. Okay, dipersilakan Asha.
Assalamualaikum and good morning everyone. My name is Asha Daila. My TED Talk topic is an open-ended title, Radiate Positivity Through. So to know a bit more through what, let me tell you a bit about one very memorable scene from a movie I watched with my family that made me shed tears. It's a Netflix movie and I highly recommend everyone watching it for the laugh and the memorable moments. The Netflix movie called The Adam Project, starring Ryan Reynolds as Adam, the protagonist, and Mark Ruffalo as Adam's dad. I believe some of you may have seen and may have not, so I will keep my summation of the movie as spoiler-free as possible and only just talk about the scene. A bit about Adam's character background. He grew up missing a father figure in his life. He loved his dad dearly, that he resents him not being there in his life. throughout him growing up. And it became a pinnacle turn point of how his personality turned to be a troublemaker and became more of a troublemaker. So this scene was Adam talking with his dad. They're having a heart-to-heart conversation. And what was the most memorable part of this conversation was Adam's dad said to Adam that he's sorry that he wasn't there. He's sorry that he won't be there. And his dad kept talking about his memory with Adam as he grew up throughout their life. And then his dad said these 3 words, I love you, repeatedly to Adam. And then Adam, usually when we receive something like that, we do like, okay, that's enough, okay, cukup lah macam tu kan. But his dad keep on persisting and looking into Adam's eyes and keep saying to him that he loves him very much. And also he said that he keep boasting him, saying that you're amazing, I am proud of you. And what he did next was he embraced Adam and keep saying he loves him dearly, which made Adam the protagonist cry and also the audience who watched the film. To sum up my title with this scene is radiate positivity through complimenting and appreciating others, your loved ones, our family, friends, and our acquaintances. We celebrate them we appreciate them by complimenting them genuinely and honestly from the bottom of our hearts. And I believe that we tend to neglect and forget that we take people around us for granted. That is all for my TED Talk today. Thank you.
Alright, just nice cukup-cukup je masa. Thank you so much Asha. Alright. Dennis ni kelakar lah. Mantap Asha, sangat bagus sharingnya. But time's out, kirim salam ada. Dr. siapa? Asha. Macam-macam Dr. siapa Asha?
Adam, saya pegang iPad doktor nak tunjuk tapi tergetar-getar tangan. Adam Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Saya recommend tengok movie tu.
Okay, terima kasih Asha. Okay, next. Last person ikut Aziza.
Doktor.
Okay.
Okay, saya sebenarnya nak share yang saya ada buat slide lah. Tapi saya punya sharing ni macam tak formal, macam tak betul-betul formal. Okay. Sekejap Okay. Nampak ke doktor?
Nampak kucing.
Okay. Saya nak cerita. Allah. Alah, ternampak dah spoiler. Okay. Saya sajalah cerita pasal kucing-kucing ni sebab saya tak tahulah. Saya kucing tapi banyak je yang suka kucing kan. Tapi tak tahulah, saya nak share pasal kucing saya ni sebab saya rasa kan kucing ni banyak je membantu saya waktu macam kita kan waktu pandemik dia satu lah kan, macam stress dengan kerja, semua assignment kan. Tapi saya macam tak boleh nak reach saya punya kawan-kawan saya lah, sebab saya rasa macam dia orang semua pun macam hadapi benda yang sama lah. So saya macam nanti tambah stres kan. So masa saya macam saya sedih, saya depressed semua. So suka pergi menangis dengan kucing macam tu lah. So saya suka kucing ni macam buat saya macam mana cakap macam saya ada mood balik lah macam tu. Kadang-kadang tengok perangai dia orang yang macam bodoh-bodoh sikit lah macam tu. So macam best tau. Lepas tu macam mana? Sebab tu macam ni saya rasa kan saya nak cerita lah how saya develop untuk saya suka kucing. Sebab macam ayah saya memang bela kucing pada kecil. Tapi dulu ayah saya just macam bela kucing tu dia macam, sebab saya duduk kampung. So saya kucing kampung lah. Dia bukan domestik punya kucing lah semua. Tapi ayah saya just bela bagi makan. Ayah saya dia tak tunjuk dia just suka bagi makan kucing lah macam tu. Ada satu kucing yang duduk kat rumah saya kan. Dia nama dia Tigarang tau. Tak tahu kenapa ayah panggil Tigarang sebab dia tak boleh langsung dekat dengan manusia. Tapi dia suka je masuk dalam rumah, dia lepak-lepak dalam rumah, tidur bawah meja makan. Dulu saya kecil-kecil saya suka lah nak pergi pegang dia tau. Tapi dia suka macam nak cakap, dia suka cakap. Sorry Cik, saya cakap bahasa utara. Dia suka cakap macam tu. So macam saya maybe tu macam reverse psikologi untuk saya. Lagi dia tak suka, lagi saya suka dia macam tu. Lepas tu satu lagi faktor sebab saya, jiran saya bagi dia Maksu. Maksu saya ni dia obses sangat dengan kucing. So saya suka lah, dulu macam kecil-kecil saya suka pergi main dengan maksu saya tu. Dia mesti suka layan budak-budak kan macam tu. So rumah dia banyak sangat kucing. Kucing semua comel lah. Lepas tu dia ni dulu kan kalau kita pakai camera phone. So dia ada satu album. Untuk yang kucing saja. Dia macam suka-suka ambil gambar semua tu, kita pergi cuci gambar kucing dia macam tu. So dia letak dalam satu album banyak gambar kucing dia macam tu. Tapi saya ada dengan satu superstition lah. Dia macam tak tahu lah. Dia macam betul kadang tak betul macam tu. Tak ada percaya sangat. Dia kata, orang kata kalau, saya tak ingat saya dengar pada siapa. Kalau kita ambil gambar kucing ni, macam ambil gambar kucing tu cepat mati macam tu. Macam tu. Rasa masa saya ni macam sampai satu masa tu, bila waktu tu dah berapa tahun dah dia jaga kucing-kucing tu, tiba ada satu virus parvo something kan. Parvo tu dia macam berjangkit-jangkit, so semua kucing maksa saya mati. Lepas tu maksa saya ni macam start pada tu dia tak jaga kucing dia tak bela kucing dia. Sebab dia heartbroken tu kucing dia mati. Yang tu lah, yang tu je saya nak cerita introduction. So kat sini saya saja je lah nak cerita simpatisasi lah keluarga kucing saya. Tak jalan pula salah cerita. Ni salah saya punya keluarga kucing. Saja tunjuk. Ni yang first ni ni bukan kucing yang first saya sebenarnya. 3 orang tu tapi saya tak letak dekat dalam ni. Ni second punya kucing. Nama dia Minyao. Dia jantan. Lepas tu kan ni kucing ni sebab macam mana, lepas 3 orang tu dah mati lama dah. Lepas tu sebab tu macam saya minta kat ayah saya kalau saya nak kucing kan. Lepas tu ayah saya pergi ambil kucing dekat rumah. Dia macam ambil lah, adopt kucing pada rumah orang seorang-seorang ni. Nama dia Minyao, dia jantan, yang ni hitam putih. Dia tak ada gambar, so waktu tu saya kecil lagi. Zaman waktu saya sekolah rendah kot, tak ada camera phone kan nak ambil gambar. So Minyao ni dia jantan kan. So dia macam, dia manja gila, dia pandai gila. Sebentar saya cerita lah. Lepas tu macam, tapi dia macam menghilang tiba-tiba macam tu. Sebab dia pun kucing, saya kata dia kucing kampung, so suka berkeliaran. Tiba-tiba dia hilang, maybe sebab dia dah sakit kot. Orang cakap kalau kucing sakit kan dia suka hilang pada tuan dia, so dia pergi duduk macam tu. So Minyao ni, saya boleh jumpa dengan, ni gedik ni dia tak kahwin lah. Macam saya bagi dia gedik, saya tak tahulah kenapa. Saya pun macam tak betul, tapi tak usah panggil dia gedik kan. Saya ingat lah. So Dodo ni dia duduk colour sama hitam putih. Waktu tu Minyao ni dia pergi mengorek si gedik ni. So macam mana saya boleh bela gedik ni sebab Minyao ni dia mengorek si gedik ni. So dia macam gedik tu datang rumah. So dia macam kucing luar je, kucing pada hutan macam dia datang rumah makan. So macam dia hidup kat sini. Sebab tu lepas tu si gedik ni mereka membiak kat rumah saya. So dia lahirkan mak kucing. So saya tak ingat sebab kucing banyak yang lahir tapi banyak yang mati, tiba-tiba hilang. Macam tu. So banyak yang sakit macam tu. So yang sekarang hidup macam yang last man standing tu mak kucing. Mak kucing ni saya tak tahu kenapa saya panggil mak kucing sebab waktu tu memang tak ada nama nak bagi, saya panggil mak kucing je. Sebab dia macam mak kucing ni lepas mak si gedik ni mati, mak kucing ni pula yang ganti si gedik tu untuk beranakkan anak-anak dia semua macam tu kan. Lepas tu saya macam mak kucing tu pun lahirkan 3 ekor ni. Nama dia Asta, Salman dan Gojo macam tu. Kucing yang still hidup lah sekarang ni. Lepas tu macam so si Asta, Salman dan Gojo ni semua female tau. Jadi sorry. Lepas tu sama-sama ni saya pergi cucuk untuk bagi manda lah, tak nak bagi lahir banyak kan, nanti banyak-banyak sangat menyusahkan juga. So saya biar mak kucing ni seorang je macam production of kucing kat rumah saya macam tu. So macam tu, okay, nama Asta, Sama, Gojo, San, Combi, Loli dengan Lalat. So Loli Lalat ni bukan dalam family ni, dia tak tahu kucing datang dari luar, so datang rumah saya macam tu. Saya jaga je macam tu. Okay, seterusnya saya tunjuk gambar, tapi gambar mak kucing tak ada sebab dia macam tak friendly dengan orang juga. Sama macam 3 orang tu. Dia macam, actually mak kucing ni dia macam meroyan sikit. Dia sebab meroyan anak dia banyak mati. So dia macam meroyan, dia tak suka manusia macam tu. Saya tak tahu macam mana. Tapi dia okey, dia makan kat rumah. Okay, so seterusnya ni Salman ataupun Chalman. Saya panggil dia Salman, saya tak tahu nama dia Salman tu sebab saya ada inspired pada seorang YouTubers ni. Dia namakan pokok dia Salman. So saya kata, Salman, menarik nama dia. So saya nama kucing saya Salman. Waktu dia baru lahir. Lepas tu ni lah saya tunjuk Salman. Tapi Salman ni sebenarnya dia dah meninggal. Dia mati sebab sakit. Tiba-tiba mati tiba-tiba macam tu. Maybe dia termakan racun orang sebab ada orang ramai racun rumput. Maybe dia termakan racun rumput tu macam tu. Dia mati tiba-tiba. Macam tu. So heartbroken je kat saya macam tu. So dia tunjuklah gambar dia tengok dia tengah teman saya buat assignment malam-malam. Dia baik sangat macam tu. Dia baik. Dia kucing pada saya sayang lah sebenarnya Salman. So sekarang saya letak gambar avatar yang ni sebab saya rasa kan Salman ni macam adalah trait dia ingat tu tangan dia ada macam ada line dekat tangan dia macam avatar. Saya tak tahu kenapa saya tak betul. Okey. Seterusnya cerita pasal Asta. Okey, ni Asta ni kucing ni dia adik Salman lah. Dia ni saya rapat juga. Ni kucing kedua yang dapat dengan saya. Dia ni kenapa saya namakan Asta sebab Asta ni ada satu karakter dalam anime ni dia macam bising. Dia macam suka menjerit tau. So saya rasa Asta ni kalau saya pegang kan dia suka menjerit waktu kecil dulu lah. Dia macam suka miau-miau macam tu. Saya kata macam bising lah. So adik-adik saya cakap ni kita namakan dia Asta macam tu. Saya namakan Asta. So Asta ni waktu Asta zaman waktu kecil nampak baby comel gila. So sekarang dia dah besar. Besar-besar ni so saya tak tahu kenapa saya tengok gambar Asta ni saya teringat Mak Sloan. So saya just letaklah gambar Mak Sloan macam tu. Okay, seterusnya ni Gojo. Gojo ni sebab dia warna hitam tu. Waktu saya tengah tengok cerita Jujutsu Kaisen. So saya kata comel hitam. So saya letak nama Gojo macam tu. Tapi Gojo ni dia sakit. Dia macam hilang balance kot orang panggil sebab kaki belakang ni tak boleh pakai macam tu. So dia pakai dia kat depan, pakai kaki depannya macam tu. Okay, next. Combi. Combi ni pun baru lahir. Oh actually Combi ni anak Asta tadi kan. Ada Asta tu saya tak sempat nak pergi mandukan dia sebab saya duduk asrama, duduk UTM. Saya duduk UTM. Dia lahir waktu saya duduk kat UTM. Saya sempat nak mandukan dia so dia dah beranak. Ni anak baru lah, saya tak nak gambar banyak sangat sebab dia tengah sakit sekarang. Dia tengah sesema macam tu. So dia suka tengok TV. Saya ada buka TV hari tu, suka tengok benda yang warna-warni macam tu. Dia macam pandai sikit lah daripada Asta tu. So ni Sun, saya panggil dia Sun sebab dia ada 3 colour. So adik saya namakan dia Sun, so tak tahu nak panggil apa. Okay, so ni Loli. Loli ni tak friendly juga, tak ada banyak gambar. Sebab dia kucing luar, dia macam kucing kat rumah tapi dia tak nak kawan dengan orang. Dia macam just makan jatah untuk makan macam tu. Just saya sempat ambil gambar banyak ni je lah. Loli ni dia adik-beradik dengan si Lalat. Lalat saya panggil Lalat sebab dia ada tek lalat dekat muka dia macam tu. So dia suka buat muka macam tu. Saya rasa Lalat ni macam unik sebab dia tak macam kucing lain. Kucing lain suka catwalk tau. Dia jalan dia mengengkang. Kalau jalan kaki dia belakang, dia suka mengengkang. So lawak gila kalau tengok dia ni berjalan macam tu. So dia tapi dia kucing luar lah, dia tak suka, dia duduk kat luar rumah, dia tak suka masuk dalam rumah macam tu. So, okay, yang tu je. Saya nak cerita, yang ni fakta saya menarik, saya nak share lah sebab tak berilmiah, so saya nak cerita lah. Kucing ni ada 4 fakta, ni antara fakta lah, dia tak boleh rasa manis. So macam kalau bagi aiskrim tu maybe dia just rasa creamy tu, dia tak rasa manis tu. Dan dia tak boleh makan coklat. Macam ada orang cakap anjing tak boleh makan coklat kan sebab cepat mati kan. So sama je, kucing ni sama je kok. Lepas tu kucing ni dia ada 244 tulang. Macam tu. Oh sorry, mama aku. Okay. Ada 244 tulang, so manusia ada 209 tulang. So bayangkan kucing yang kecil tu dia ada tulang yang compact pada dia. So benda tu yang menyebabkan kalau contoh dia jatuh pada tempat tinggi semua, dia punya tulang tak patah sebab dia punya tulang dalam badan tu macam compact macam tu. Yang tu lah saya dengar orang cakap kan. Lepas tu kucing berpeluh. So tapi dia berpeluh tak berpeluh kat badan-badan, dia berpeluh kat tapak kaki dia, dekat dia punya paw yang tangan yang comel tu, dia berpeluh. Lepas tu kucing juga boleh mimpi dan mengigau. So saya pernah nampak lah saya punya Salman tu, dia mimpi mengigau, dia macam bunyi, dia berbunyi, dia bercakap dan miau-miau dalam dia punya mimpi macam tu. Okay, yang tu je dari saya. Terima kasih. Hilang.
Alright, thank you
Okay, yang tu je.
Aziza. Okay, dia cerita macam presentation final year project. Cikgu ada kucing nama Mia. Tapi for those nanti watch out dengan masa kita ada 3 minit je. Okay, for the TED Talk. Alright, thank you Aziza for the nice sharing about the cats. Alright, so guys, I think that's the only time we have. Sorry for taking your time. For those yang ada kelas, boleh dismiss je. Tapi siapa yang belum boleh tunggu sekejap untuk ambil kehadiran So thank you so much guys. Okay, kita tutup kelas kita dengan tasbih kifarah dan surah Al-As. Okay, ini attendance siapa yang masih belum ambil. Terima kasih banyak.